If your data pipeline is scaling fast, your proxy strategy needs to scale smarter. Residential and ISP proxies might look similar at first glance, but in practice they solve very different problems. Let's compare them and see which works best for your setup. Residential proxies. They have dynamic IP addresses assigned by real internet service providers to actual devices. This makes your traffic look organic to platforms, minimizing the risk of detection and blocks. And since residential IPs barely share the same subnet, you can run multiple requests simultaneously with minimal risk of triggering mass blocks. Here are their 3 key strengths that enable performance at scale. Seamless access as traffic blends with organic user activity, keeping operations uninterrupted. Market precision through access to authentic local content across worldwide locations, and flexible control with the ability to switch between long sessions or rotating connections. However, residential proxies also come with certain drawbacks that are important to consider, including variable performance as they rely on consumer networks, which can sometimes lead to slower speeds or inconsistent latency, and higher costs due to the effort and integrity required to source authentic IPs. So, when are residential proxies the best option? They are perfect when you need to perform large-scale web scraping on protected sites to bypass anti-bot defenses and rate limiting, ad verification to get accurate impressions from multiple locations and ISPs, localized search and content validation to obtain precise, region-specific results, fraud detection and abuse simulation to mimic real user behavior and uncover anomalies, and market research and price intelligence to collect competitive data without triggering platform restrictions. Now let's talk about ISP proxies. These proxies use IP addresses assigned by real internet service providers, but they're hosted on servers in data centers. This gives you the authenticity of residential IPs combined with the power of data center connections, as you're not relying on end-user networks. So what makes ISP proxies valuable for your workflow? High performance, as they are hosted in data centers, delivering fast, consistent speeds and low latency for high-volume requests. Reliable stability, as sessions remain predictable, unaffected by end-user network fluctuations, and legitimate appearance as traffic comes from real ISP-assigned IPs, helping requests appear authentic to target platforms. However, ISP proxies come with their own limitations. Things to keep in mind include less geographic diversity with smaller IP pools, which can limit precise geo-targeting, and potential detectability, as many IPs come from the same data centers and often share subnets, meaning patterns could become noticeable if not managed carefully. One important detail: depending on the provider, they can be either rotating or static. Rotating ISP proxies might give you flexibility by switching between different IPs, but they don't provide the stability and consistency ISP proxies are known for. Static ISP proxies, on the other hand, provide a consistent IP identity, maximum reliability, and often come with unlimited bandwidth, making them ideal for traffic-intense operations where predictable performance and a stable identity are essential. So, when is it best to use static ISP proxies? They're great for operations such as high-volume web scraping, where scraper blocking and IP bans are common risks, ad verification at scale, where repeatable conditions matter, automated testing and QA, where stable sessions ensure repeatable and reliable test conditions, price monitoring and market intelligence, where consistent IPs help collect large datasets without triggering platform restrictions, account management and platform integrations, where a steady IP identity prevents unnecessary blocks or session issues. Now let's compare residential and ISP proxies side by side so you can easily choose the right type for your setup. IP source. Residential proxies come from real people's devices with IPs assigned directly by internet service providers. ISP proxies also use ISP-assigned IPs, but they're hosted on data center servers. Trust level. Residential proxies have the highest trust level since their traffic looks just like any other organic internet user. ISP proxies also carry strong trust, but can be slightly easier for advanced systems to identify being hosted in data centers. Speed and latency. Residential proxies can vary in speed since performance depends on the end user's internet connection. ISP proxies are usually much faster and more consistent thanks to their data center infrastructure. Detection risk. Residential proxies carry minimal detection risk, making them highly effective on even the most protected websites. ISP proxies have a low to medium detection risk. They're still strong, but when many IPs share the same subnet, they can sometimes get flagged. Geographic coverage. Residential proxies offer global coverage, making them ideal if you need very precise geo-targeting. ISP proxies have more limited geographic diversity and their IP pools tend to be smaller. Scalability. Residential proxies scale well, but costs can rise quickly if you need large volumes. ISP proxies scale reliably, but their IP pools are usually smaller than residential ones. Cost. Residential proxies are generally more expensive, often billed per gigabyte because of the authenticity of their sourcing. ISP proxies are usually more affordable, often coming with unlimited bandwidth on static IPs. So when should you use residential proxies and when do ISP proxies make more sense? Go with residential proxies when you need maximum authenticity and wide geographic coverage, perfect for large-scale web scraping on protected sites, localized content validation, or any workflow where blending in as a real user is critical. On the other hand, ISP proxies are your go-to when speed, consistent performance, and stable IP identity matter most. Ideal for high-volume scraping, automated testing, price monitoring, account management, or any operation that demands predictable, reliable connections. Subscribe to IPRoyal for more proxy tips and integration guides to keep your data flowing fast and seamless.